This is part 3 of installing OpenSquiggly on DigitalOcean. So in the first video, we created the droplet. In the second video, we downloaded the zip file and installed OpenSquiggly. It's now running. And so I just want to do a quick test here. I'm going to copy the IP address of where that's running. And I'm just going to hit that IP address. All right, from here, I can create an account. I'll go ahead and do that. I won't show it. Use the invitation code Gander Shell. Okay, and create your account. Make sure you take note of the login ID to use that to log in, not your email address. All right, I've created the account and I'm going to sign in. All right, and I have a completely blank home page. You can use OpenSquiggly like a wiki, so let's just test that out first. I'm going to append some content to my home page. Here's my home page. All right, and looks good. Okay, and so now what we want to do is we want to use OpenSquiggly for its intended, one of its main intended purposes at least, which is to curate content in source code repositories that live in other locations. So let's just, we can try out lots of different things, but let's look for like GitHub, React, or something. Right, so here's the React repository on GitHub. And so let's say I want to copy this to the clipboard, and let's come in here into my mount points, and I can just do a quick add and type in and paste in that URL that I want to clone. All right, let's do save and close, cloning in process. This is kind of a big repo, so it may take a minute or two. All right, and there it is, it's ready. And because we use this quick add screen, notice that it has this checkbox here that says automatically create a mapped page to the repository in the current page. So that's what happened over here on the left-hand side. And so now we can expand this and we see that I have, you know, the React source code mounted in here. I could do this for as many different repositories as I wanted to. I won't cover it in this video, although I have covered it in other videos, that if you have a private repository, you can go and create an external connection which can contain a personal access token that gives you access to that particular type of GitHub hosting system. And then you can then add a private connection using that external connection. All right, so I won't cover everything here in this video. You get to just kind of general idea. If you did not check that checkbox that said that you want to, no, not that, in the quick add, automatically create a map page, then what you can always do after the fact is you can go and add your own mapped pages by clicking the plus button here, going under personal, and then picking the mount point and then mapping it that way. Right. And let's just test out the search engine here. Suppose I want to search for vector widget and make sure our search engine's working. And there we see that the search engine is working. Let's see if we can do a little bit maybe fancier. Maybe let's say followed by a space, followed by the equal sign, followed by a space, something like that. There. And let's say that we want to filter this by, I only want to see files that are in app.js. All right. So we can do filtering, and all of this is covered in our documentation on our website. This is just a quick test to show what you can do. All right, so let me go ahead and show the process for connecting to a private repository, because I want to show our OpenSquiggly documentation and how that works. So I'm going to go here, manage connection, add a managed connection to Azure DevOps. I'll call this OpenSquiggly, right? And then what I want to do is I want to paste in my personal access token, which I already have created previously. All right, here's the personal access token that I've created I went to Azure DevOps and created a personal access token. So that gives me access to that account. All right, and now I want to add a connection. I'm going to call this OpenSquiggly source code. Right, and the name is OpenSquiggly and repository name is OpenSquiggly. Now, obviously, this is for me connecting to OpenSquiggly. You would then put in whatever your connection was to whatever Azure DevOps account you had, and whatever project name your project, and whatever repository name your project was. Go ahead and save this. It's going to clone it. All right, it's cloned. I used the long form, so I'm going to have to now add that mapped page in. All right, here, I'm going to call this full source code. Add. All right, there. Now I've got access to the OpenSquiggly source code. All right, and now what I want to do is notice that there's this docs folder in here. What I want to do is attach formatted documentation. So we have a way to do that with OpenSquiggly. And I'm going to go in a second time. I'm going to create another mount point. I'm going to say I want to reuse the existing repository. That way I don't have to reclone it. And I'm going to call this OpenSquiggly documentation. Right, and I want to limit that to only what's in the /docs folder, and this time I want to use the OpenSquiggly standards simplified document tree formatter. Save that, and that may take a minute while it's doing some stuff in the background. Okay, it's ready, and I can now go grab that page in. No. Documentation, and I'll just call the page documentation, right? Add that, and so now what I have is I have my formatted documentation all nice and human readable instead of the raw, the raw markdown files. All right, and from here you can organize your page structure however you want. What I like to do maybe is let's say add sibling below. Let's say I want to create a base page for my project, Squiggly, right? And then maybe I want to create another one for other repositories, right? And now let's say I want to drop my documentation and my source code into my OpenSquiggly and drop the React one into my other repos. There we go. Okay. And so now you can start to see, you can organize this however you want. You can start to see how, you can have a nicely curated view of all the documentation and source code across your entire organization, or if you're using a lot of different open source projects and you want to bring everything into one place, here, notice that what I have is I've got things from GitHub and things from Azure DevOps all in one place. And I could also bring in things from GitLab and from Bitbucket Cloud and any other privately installed GitHub repositories, like from GitHub Enterprise or any other privately managed Git repository as well. So I can curate things from lots of different sources into one place. And then I've already shown the searching, so you can do searching, and you can create as many folders as you want. You can kind of use it as a bookmarking system, etc. All right, so that was just a quick test of running on DigitalOcean, and we see the basic functionality of OpenSquiggly. Thank you for watching.